welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video. I am so excited to be sharing this with you guys today. I'm going to be talking over the books that I believe that I'm going to give 5 stars. So my 5-star predictions. There are several books. I have 12 books to talk about, and ones that I am very excited to get to, and we think that I will give very high ratings for them. So I am excited to be reading a lot of these. They are on my upcoming TBRs and something that I'm really looking forward to getting to. A lot of these books are books that I am currently prioritizing, written by Black authors about Black main characters, because I want to keep that prevalent in my reading. There are some other books that I could have talked about in this video that I think that are going to be 5 stars, but I wanted to also prioritize some of the more diverse authors and diverse POVs. So that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the books that I think I'm going to give 5 stars. So the first book that I want to talk about is a sequel, and that is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Infernal Devices series, and when I read Clockwork Angel, I absolutely loved it. I gave it a 5 star. I loved the storytelling. I loved the characters. I loved everything about this book, and just the way that it was written, I thoroughly enjoyed, and so I have no doubt that I'm going to give this book a 5 star as well. I'm not going to go into the synopsis of this series. Almost everybody knows what this is about. Part of her Shadowhunter world, and I am very excited to continue on with the series. Alright, the next book that I want to talk about is a little bit interesting because I have yet to read a book written in verse that I absolutely loved, but I just have such high hopes for this author and such high hopes for this book that I think that I'm going to give it 5 stars, and that is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I have heard wonderful things about her books written in verse, and I am so excited to be getting to this. I love the premise of this book. It just sounds so intriguing. So basically, this is about 2 girls who don't know that they are sisters, and their dad dies in a plane crash, and they learn about each other, and they're kind of thrust into each other's lives. Not only are they grieving for their father, but they're learning about a new sister, and it just sounds so exciting and so different, something that I have not heard anybody write about before, so I am so excited for this. And can we just talk about the inside of this dust jacket? OMG, that is probably one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen naked. Like, come on, that is gorgeous. Okay, the next one that I want to talk about is a book that I've had on a couple of TBRs over the past year and just have not gotten around to it. However, I'm still super excited for it and I cannot wait to read it, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I have heard mixed reviews about the sequel of this book, but I have heard great things about the first one, so I am very excited to get to this. I don't really know too much about the story. I just know it has to do with magic and it's a fantasy, and that's pretty much all I know, but I love the fact that it has a Black POV as well as written by a Black author, so I definitely want to get to this very soon, and like I said, I've heard great things, so I'm really thinking that I'm going to love this. The next book that I want to talk about is kind of cheating because I'm currently in the middle of reading it, and that is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I had this on my 5-star prediction list well before I picked it up, but with everything going on, I really wanted to strive to read more Black authors and more books that center around Black POVs, so I picked this up the last couple of days and I've been reading it. I am currently on page 146, so I'm getting through it, but I thought I was going to give it a 5 star before I picked it up, and now that I have continued to read it, I don't think my feelings are going to change. This book is incredible, and I have every reason to believe that I'm going to give this a 5 star. The next book that I want to talk about is definitely something that I've never read before, but I just have a feeling about what this book is about that I'm really just going to love it, and that is A Phoenix First Must Burn, and this is an anthology about Black girl magic, and some of the authors are Elizabeth Acevedo, Patrice Cladwell. I'm trying to see if some of these names are people that I recognize, but they aren't. But the back says 16 tales that explore the Black experience through fantasy, science fiction, and magic, coming together in one stunning narrative of hope. And this just sounds so exciting. This is my first anthology that I will be reading, but the fact that it's about Black girl magic, and I love the fact that it has a fantasy and sci-fi base, I really think that I'm going to enjoy this, and I really hope that I give it a 5 star. Okay, the next one that I want to talk about is one of my ARCs that I picked up from that used bookstore, and that is An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. I am so excited for this book. I have been excited for it since I started BookTube and really wanted to pick it up, and when I found the ARC of it, I snagged it up, and I'm very excited to be reading this. This is another book that I have no idea what this is about. However, because this is an ARC, I don't have too much of an idea of what this is about, so I'm just gonna kind of keep it that way. I'm gonna go in blind, but from what I've heard about this series and my excitement for this book, I just have a feeling that I'm going to give this a 5-star. Okay, another book that I have heard a ton of hype about and so many people have loved, and this is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I hope I said that right. And this is another book with a Black female character. Very, very excited for that. The main character is Black as well as the author is Black, so awesome. But I am so excited to be reading this. I know that this has autism rep, I think. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below. But I love this has awesome representation, a book that I've heard such great things about, and I've heard that the love story in here is fantastic. And as you guys know, if you watch my videos, I am a sucker for a romance, so I have a good feeling that I'm going to give this book a 5-star. Okay, we're getting down to the last 3 books. The next book that I want to talk about is a booktube darling. So many people love this book. So many people have raved about this book, and so many people have given this a 5-star, and I want so bad to be on that train. And that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I am scared of this book because of the way that it's written, but I'm not scared of the story. And for that, I think that I'm gonna give it a 5-star. I've heard fantastic things about this book. However, it is very polarizing. You either love it or you don't. And I'm hoping that I'm on the side of I love it. This is a book that I've heard such great things about. It is about a fake band called Daisy Jones and the Six, and it basically documents their story interview style of how the band came together and eventually fell apart, and I'm very excited to pick this up. The second to the last book that I want to talk about is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This is an interesting book to say that I hope that I give it 5 stars because it is on such a hard-hitting topic. However, I have read the first chapter, and I think so far by her writing that I'm really going to love the story, and this is just such, I don't really know how to talk about this book. This book is basically about a woman who is looking back on a past relationship that she had with her high school professor, and she thinks very fondly of this relationship. And when some other girls step up and talk about how they had an inappropriate relationship with this teacher, her relationship gets called into question, and she really has to look back on that time and think about whether or not this was an appropriate relationship for her to be having, and her feelings and thoughts behind that. So from what I heard, this is a very hard read. I just know this is going to be a book that is going to make me cry and make me think, and I really think that it's going to talk about this topic very well, and I am very intrigued to read this, and I really do think that I'm going to give this a 5-star. And the very last book that I want to talk about is my Book of the Month pick from June. Now, I have heard there is some controversy going on with Book of the Month, so I do have a couple of Book of the Month books here. However, with the controversy that's going on during this time and their stance on the Black Lives Matter, I have definitely looked into it, and I'm going to be continuing to monitor their selections over the next couple of months. And if I don't feel like they've made the changes that they said that they were going to on their statement, then I will no longer be continuing my subscription with them. But I want to give them a chance to make the changes that they say they're going to make and to fix the problems that they have in their company, and before I just straight away cancel my subscription. But I definitely will be keeping an eye on that. That being said, that was a total spiel that I didn't think that I was going to get into. My last book is from June, and it is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. Now, you're saying, Kaylani, you don't like historical fiction. Why is this in your list? The synopsis of this sounds so good. So because of that, I really do think that I'm going to give this a 5-star. The little blurb at the top says, twins inseparable as children ultimately choose to live in 2 very different worlds, one black and one white. The synopsis of this sounds amazing. I would suggest going to read it. It's a little hard for me to break down and explain for you guys. If you guys are interested in the story, I would definitely recommend checking out the synopsis. But I am just very excited to be picking this up. This is another book written by a Black author, so shout out to that. It also has Black main characters, so wonderful. And I am just very excited to be picking this up. This is probably the historical fiction that I am looking forward to the most out of all of the ones that I have on my shelves, and I'm just really hoping that I love it and that I give it a 5-star, just like I'm predicting. So that is it. That is all the books that I think that I'm going to give a 5-star to. out of the books that I have on my shelves. There are a couple of others that I could have included in this list, but I wanted to keep it quite short and sweet. I hope that this gives you guys some recommendations for books that you might be interested in. But out of the books that I have here, I'm trying to think if there's one that I think that I will love the most out of all of them. So I'm gonna do like a sneaky little prediction, and then we can come back on this later once I've read all these books and see if I'm right. So it's hard because all of these books are so different that this makes it a bit harder for me to pick one. But I think that of the ones that I have, I'm going to pick 3 that I think that I'm going to like the most out of all of them. And they all just so happen to be by Black authors, so that's awesome. The first one is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. A Phoenix First Must Burn, the anthology, and then Clapping to Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. Those are my 3 picks. I'm hoping that I am right, but we will have to see. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you got something from it. I hope that you guys are staying safe and being as mindful, and I hope that you guys are staying as vigilant as you can with everything that's going on, continuing to be a part of the conversation, continuing to educate yourselves and ask the hard questions, and I hope that everything in your life is going well. But other than that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and of course, leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!